Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another video. When I was 10 years old, it was the last time that my family and I went to a hotel in Greece that we had been to 3 years prior. You just go to the same hotel over and over again when you're German, I don't know. On that last day, I decided to purchase myself a book. And it was a book about Greek mythology. And I loved it. It was very, translations weren't accurate, doesn't matter. It was in German, love. It was then that I made the decision to write a book myself about, a group of demigods going to a camp. Sadly, that idea was stolen from me by Rick Riordan. Peace and love. That's a joke. Just have to clarify. But to reignite my love for Greek mythology, I thought, how about I just read a retelling of Hades and Persephone? How about that? So neon gods, well, my members actually decided I should read it. I put it on a list and my members voted for it, so they're at fault. It wasn't my fault. The story is true. However, neon gods has nothing to do with Greek mythology, so that didn't really work out. We'll talk about it more in today's video. But first, I want to thank my members. And if you don't want to hear me yap, because I'm going to yap a little bit beforehand, you can skip to the rant. I'll put timestamps in the description so you don't have to listen to me yap. Listen to me rap. Rap? I'm not going to rap. My members get my videos a day early, and they also, as I just mentioned, get to vote on my next reads and get to torture me. It's okay. It's okay. They get exclusive content such as my Ruby Rant movie commentary, and they get cool stickers and my eternal peace and love. It's true. It's also a way to support me and to support me in buying the books that I do review for you guys. And since my last video, 2 new members have joined us. 2. Yes, we're growing. First, bang bang book reviews, and peace and love. I think they do their own book reviews, as it's in the name. Oh, there's hair everywhere, guys. I'm so sorry. So you can go check them out, but also Bang Bang just makes me think of Bang Bang Into the Room. I Want to Bang Bang All Over You by Jessie J, Nicki Minaj, and Ariana Grande. And then that makes me think of Jessie J singing Price Tag, her own song, and for some reason going, it's not about the money, mama money. Why did she, spice it up? It was really weird. But sometimes I think of that, and then I watch the clip and then I just giggle. It's like one of those videos, like the wig video with Elijah Woods. Always makes me giggle. Always puts a smile on my face. And then the second member is Jay Weinberger. You know what? I don't know if you're German, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're not. I feel like a lot of people who are not German but have German ancestry and then immigrated somewhere else, like their family immigrated somewhere else, they always have burger instead of Berg. Berg is just mountain. Burger is, I don't know what that is. Because I know so many German people with a last name that ends on Berg. But burger, I feel like, is a very American. Maybe not. Prove me wrong. We're growing. The Germans, they're all coming to my channel. Love it. If you see me in real life, don't ask if I'm honestly Sophie. I will say no, I will lie. I'm scared. Oh my god. I've never been recognized. Why not? I'm waiting. Anyway, thank you so much to Jay Weinberger and Bing Bing Into the Room book reviews for joining the members. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit jittery. I don't know if that's a word. If you want the tea on this video, I can give it to you. Why has it taken so long? First of all, you can follow me on Instagram at HonestlySophieYT for updates, but it was really hot in Germany for the last couple of days again, which makes me think of, let's check out the weather forecast for the next few days. Yes, bitch, it's gonna be hot again. And then I've talked about this before, but whenever it's hot, first of all, I sweat a lot, and then second of all, the camera keeps shutting down because it keeps overheating. But that's not entirely the only reason. Yeah, that's not the entire reason. Not entirely the only reason, whatever. This video was supposed to go out to you already a few days ago. Why didn't it go out? Well, the first part of this video just got deleted. I had to film on 2 separate days. The first part, I edited it. Everything was ready to go. I added the second part onto it later, edited it. Was already in the process of uploading the video. And then I was like, why is the preview screen black? That's weird. I click on it. there's just audio. There is no picture of me. Where am I? And so that's why we're here today. I've already filmed this. I was already ready to go, and now I'm re-filming it, the beginning. Thankfully, I only yapped. So when you see me later, that was me a while ago. Whatever. So I'm trying to keep this a little bit shorter than I did the last time because it was really yapperish. But that being said, let's talk about Neon Gods. Let's talk about the tea. This book was written by Katie Robert. Her name is Robert and not Roberts, like I kept calling her, because I've talked about Neon Gods a few times that I would like put it on the list for a potential read, and I would always say Roberts. And I think on my poll that I did for my members, I also wrote Roberts. And then I was thinking maybe I confused it because Lauren Roberts, who I just reviewed Powerless and Reckless by, and now I'm reading Katie Robert. Next book, the last name of the person's gonna be Rob. Like, there's a pattern. She lives in America with her husband and children and animals, it says on Goodreads, and I don't know anything else about them besides the fact that they've allegedly, according to Goodreads, have written over 150 books since 2012. That is a lot of books. I think they are also counting novellas. She does a lot of novellas about her series, and I am a novella hater. Yeah, I'm a novella hater. A lot of them are exclusive to her Patreon, like, from, if I'm correct, from what I've gathered, because she does have a Patreon. She's a full-time author, and there's a lot of people on that Goodreads, on that Patreon, I mean, and she posts a lot of updates there with like chapter previews and exclusive short stories and stuff like that, which I think that is a good thing. Like, that makes sense to me. Publishing a novella just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, there's not enough content for novellas ever. They never good. Do you guys have you guys ever read a novella and you were like, this eats? Me neither. This book that I read was about Hades and Persephone, and her other books in this series, this is the Dark Olympus series, are all about different Greek characters. Now, they're about different Greek characters, but they're not in Greece. My Goodreads review is Olympus is next to California, but they do get gyros at one point, so I think it's fine. Honestly, Sophie, on Goodreads, go like it. It has a 3.7 star average, which is not good in my opinion, because the book is not good. It was published in 2021. It has a little bit under 400 pages, so it's definitely a book you could read in like one day if you want to bump up your TBR, if that's something you care about. You can easily get through this if you're not bored out of your mind like I was. It has a total of 255,000 ratings, almost 256,000. Guys, don't read it. Genuinely, if you are still here and you're debating, because obviously I'm going to be talking spoilers, whether you should read the book first and then come back, don't read the book. And I always try to be lenient and say, read it for yourself, make up your own mind. You know, I like things that you don't like and you like things that I don't like. That's more likely. For this one, it's a waste of time and money because there's nothing happening in this book, and you will see later on. This video is relatively short for me. I already know because I already edited the second part. I already know what I'm going to say, so I know I have to be careful what I say now. But there is nothing going on plot-wise in this book. It was just a sex book, and for all it's made out to be, the sex scenes were very vanilla. Like, it's supposed to be Hades, and he's like into bondage and stuff. We'll get to it. But they don't really do any bondage. No, they don't. And so I don't really know. Also, the world building in this book is genuinely insane. I talked about it in the deleted footage, and then later, when I come on again later, you're gonna hear me talk about it again in more detail. So I just want to give you a little bit of the basis. Basically, in this world, Olympus is either a state or a country or its own entity, but it's in America. It's next to California, as I said in my review. And the only way they mention Greece at one point is because they go eat gyros in the underworld, which is called the lower city. Olympus is divided into the upper city and the lower city, and the 13 exist, but they're only titles. And whenever one of the 13 dies, another one takes that title. And that's about everything that she gives you world building wise. You have to go with it. You have to go with it. It's vibes. It's a vibe city. Nothing is explained of how that world or how that state came to be, why people are okay with it. What law do they follow? Do they have their own currency? How do people decide who takes the role? Because the main character is Persephone, and she keeps saying, and it's dual POV, by the way. Great. Love it when it's dual POV and the characters sound exactly the same. Her mother was made into the meter. She keeps saying that over and over again. How? I'm not sure. Once Persephone is dead, no one will take her role because she's just seen not as a role, but just an actual person. So how does that make sense in the long run? I don't know. She has 3 sisters and she hates her mother. Her mother is evil. Or is she? And that's about all that I'm gonna say right now before I start talking about the actual review. But I feel like we need something. Like, something doesn't feel right about this video. So I think I need to change something before I can start. But I'm not really sure what it could be. I just feel like I'm missing something. Oh. Wait. The rumors are true. I did get a new sign. This video is a little bit shorter. There's nothing happening, but I hope you still enjoy it. And just for the continuity of it, because I did do it before, let's do a little transition. Listen, guys, if you want this video, if you want this review, you need to let me rot. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've filmed that first part, and I've had time to think as one does. I realized that I didn't even elaborate on her Patreon. The main reason I mentioned it is because I saw, and I don't know if there's a way where you can see all of someone's members on Patreon, if that's like public, but there was one post that she had and it had like 2,500 likes. And I think that's like a lot of people. So I am trying to make clear by mentioning that people fuck with her. Okay? Which I didn't believe, but I was proven wrong. Also, I sometimes watch interviews from authors to, like, about the book to kind of figure out why the fuck they wrote it. And the only thing that I could take away from one of the interviews that I read from her, or not read, I think it was a video, is that she fucks with Haunting Adeline. Yeah. If you fuck with Haunting Adeline, you are not welcome on this channel. I said it. And, you know, I have to speak my truth. She said, talking about Haunting Adeline, oh, at first it was so weird, blah, blah, blah. Kind of very ominously in a way, where I was like, okay, do you like it or do you not like it? And they kept talking about it, and then she was like, it was just so good. So that's why I'm writing a stalker book myself now. And I was like, okay. Don't. And the last thing I pondered over, I don't know why it's called Neon Gods. I'm sorry. I don't know if neon is supposed to be a euphemism for something that I don't know, if that's like a colloquial thing that I just don't know, but they don't do coke in this book. Not that I don't know what the connection to neon is there, but maybe that, like, I would be like, okay, they do coke, it's Neon Gods. Nobody has a neon sign on their wall. What else? No one has neon makeup. Why is it called Neon Gods? I don't know. They never even say the word neon. Back to the book. Now let's get really into it. I'm gonna reiterate the world building a little bit, because what I filmed before was really yapperish. So, because I also thought about that a little bit. As I mentioned, I don't know where this place, Olympus, it's called Olympus, I don't know where it's supposed to be geographically on the map. It is next to California as far as I'm concerned, but I don't know if it's a state or if it's a city or what's going on. I don't know the history. I don't know how it came to be. They're just kind of going off vibes, I feel like. The whole world building is just vibes, but that would not be fun if I didn't hyperanalyze it still. You know, this is a published piece of work, and I think she had a publisher for this. Maybe it was a indie publish initially, but I'm pretty sure it's properly... Well, it exists in German. Let me look this up. Okay, so I feel like if it's published in German by a publisher, it has to be in English too. And just so you know, the whole series is not called Dark Olympus, which it's the term for in English. in German, they just put neon gods on every single book. And then the name of the people who it's about. I fucking hate German covers. I don't know why they do that. Is it like a Hollywood metaphor because nobody can get in, or you can't get in easily, and it's really hard or almost impossible to get out of the city? What is the background here? Is it explained in any other books? If you've read any of the other books, that would really be convenient right now, because obviously I haven't. I wonder if the people in Olympus have jobs, because they mentioned that they get photographed by paparazzi and that they're in gossip mags. It's literally, it's not a mag, it's a mag. It's not a magazine, it's a mag. So I wonder if they have like actual jobs besides, I don't know what. Like, I just don't get it. Some things are passed through family subtitles. Some titles can be earned, like the meter, which is mentioned multiple times. My mother became the meter, and then before that, she had 4 husbands, and we lived on a farm in Brooklyn. I don't know where they lived. It's like, I think Brooklyn is mentioned. But what does she do now? How did she qualify for this position? Because it's mentioned, she had 4 husbands, and then she achieved her goal, and she didn't need men anymore to be powerful, because now she's the meter. What did she do before that? Because it's mentioned also that she runs the food supplies, and she supplies the lower city, which is the underworld, with food, and she threatens to cut off the food supply. But I wonder, like, does she have any agriculture background? It's like really deep. We're getting really into it. How does she know what to do? And what does she really do? And why is she allowed to do it? What does she know that I don't? I don't know. I also don't know why Zeus killed Hades' father, who was also named Hades. And I wonder, does that mean everyone's a senior and a junior? Or is it just the name? Like, do you just, if you are in a... Well, it's not, because he's like... Zeus, spoilers, Zeus dies at the end of the book. But they already know who the new Zeus is gonna be. It's Zeus's son, something with P, I forgot his name. So, does everyone then call him Zeus once he becomes that position? And why? Is it like a title? Is it just like king or queen? Like, you know, or your majesty? Let's get into the plot. The plot is she has to marry Zeus for reasons. And the reason is none. And Zeus is known to kill all his wives. He had 3 wives, they're all dead. But it's only a rumor, no one has proof. She obviously doesn't want to do this. Persephone doesn't want to do this. Her mother arranged it. She gets overwhelmed at a party where they're like, this is actually your engagement party. And then she doesn't know what to do. She runs away. She, in her fright, crosses the river into the underworld, and Hades takes her in and is immediately like, I want to fuck the shit out of this bitch. Chapter 7, maybe I'm exaggerating, it could be chapter 5, he shows her his playroom. This is here for a reason. Also, just to get back to the background, that was like the basic plot, right? And then they start fucking. The first time they have sex is actually in front of like a group of 30 people. We'll get there. Everything, every detail I'm mentioning is getting more unhinged. She says once she turns 25, because she's 24 now, she can move to California to get her PhD at Berkeley. In what? I don't know, just a PhD. And she is currently finishing her master's degree in Olympus. So they have their own universities, multiple. And why does she never do any studying in this book? Did she drop out? What are we getting a PhD in? She wants to leave to get her PhD in Berkeley once she's 25, because that's when she will get her funds. Okay. Her sister Psyche wants to shield her. And instead of saying, she moves her body in front of mine to shield me, she says, Psyche hustles me out of the ballroom using her voluptuous body to shield me. Voluptuous. feel like voluptuous has such a negative connotation. I'm sorry. She could have just written fat, you know? Not that voluptuous is fat, but that's the connotation I have in my head. As I just said, she escapes to Hades. This entire book basically takes place in the underworld and just with her and Hades. So, to connect back to the beginning where I said that one person on TikTok was like, everyone is morally gray, and what are you doing here? There are maybe two characters, which are Hermes and Dionysus. I just have to say it in English. Who are the other gods that interact with them, but very minimally. I don't know actually if this passes the Bechdel test, this book. I'm not sure. Persephone has no friends. Her sisters, while she is in the underworld, she calls twice. And other than that, she doesn't really talk to anyone else. She also doesn't have a connection to like the butlers that Hades has. It's just her and him fucking. Yeah. So if that's what you're into. Literally after getting to the underworld, talking to Hades, I don't even know what chapter this is in, doesn't matter. It's like at the very beginning. Persephone, after being tricked by her mother into marrying Zeus, being engaged to him, says in her head to us, the reader, I'm usually pretty good at reading people. So far, not really. She keeps mentioning her purse. She goes, I have nowhere to go tonight. No purse, no money, no phone. Fuck. Not sure why the purse is specifically mentioned in this listing. No money, okay. No phone, I get. No purse? Doesn't matter? What's in your purse that you need? You already said money and phone extra. Like, if your money and your phone were in your purse, I would get. But you're listing them extra. What's in that purse? I have some funds of my own, but they aren't really my own. They're my mother's. I could ask my sisters to bring me my purse. We've all seen the playroom, though. I refuse to acknowledge that. The parties I host from time to time are as much of a part of my role as Hades as anything else. A carefully crafted persona that is designed to inspire the darker emotions and, as a result, ensure the few people who know about my existence in the upper city don't fuck with me. If I happen to enjoy this particular part of said persona, who can blame me? Persephone would take one look at that room and run screaming for her life. This man has a playroom. And for all it's hyped up to be, I think they're only in there twice. Where's the gags at? Oh my god. Honestly, guys, 50 Shades of Grey, why the fuck did we let that happen? Hermes and Dionysus, they keep showing up because apparently they have access. Even though he has a super big security system, they can still get into his house, no problem. And he doesn't fuck with them. He doesn't think they're his friends. They keep being like, well, is that your girlfriend now? He keeps saying no. But then the next chapter is when they start fucking, so don't worry about it. Zeus knows that I engage in public sex on occasion. That's what you're agreeing to. Basically, Persephone comes up with a plan in her head that we are not there when this happens. We are only here for the conversation. This plan she comes up with on her own without telling the reader, so that's super fun. Her reasoning is very weird to me, if I'm being honest. She basically says to Hades, how about we fuck so that Zeus doesn't want me back because he doesn't want to fuck with me if you fucked me, but let's do it. And then he goes, we have to do it in front of people so that he believes it, because we could tell him anything. Like, he has to believe it. He has to be there, basically. And he already does orgies anyway. So this is perfect. Zeus knows that he engages in public sex on occasion. Writing that line and publishing it is insane. Now, she didn't really think about the public part, right? She's not a virgin. Fuck, boring. Not 50 Shades of Grey then. Sorry, I should take this down. She says, I lick my lips and give him wide eyes. I've never had sex in public. Not really. What do you mean, not really? How can you... what the fuck? But I can say I'm opposed to the idea. It's startlingly hot. I mean, like, okay, you could say, okay, maybe this is like a fantasy of hers that she's had, so she's exploring that with him. Well, I don't know. I just don't know. For some reason, she's just down to do anything with him. There's one scene where she's like, maybe I don't want to have sex with the spotlights in front of the people. Like, we're in the middle. But that's the only thing she's opposed to a little bit. And then at the very end, they actually do that. So, all is well. No, but she is genuinely down for anything that he introduces. There's no sort of conflict between the two ever. Hades and Persephone, they just get along the entire time. They have no fights. They start fucking ASAP. They don't talk to one another. They have nothing in common. Well, they don't have personalities, so maybe that's the only thing they have in common, you know. They have a 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm sure 50 Shades of Grey isn't the first one to do this, but they have a conversation talking about what is okay with her and what isn't. And we never see this. So he goes, answers are yes, no, maybe. She goes, and he goes, bondage. My body goes hot at the thought. Yes, they never do bondage. Fucking in front of people is the next one. No, but that answer isn't the truth. The truth is the very idea sets me aflame. Has she ever thought about this before in her life? She doesn't say. You know what I mean? Like, give me some background. There's no background to any of it. Only that Hades' dad died in a house fire. And his mom. RIP. I think they actually, before they do it in public, in front of the people, she tries to convince him, because they make out, right? After they make this deal with one another, she's like, we have to make out. And he's like, okay. And then she tries to seduce him and be like, can we just not have sex right now? And he's like, no, we have to do it in front of people the first time for some reason. Like, you can also do it the second time in front of people. So he just puts one in there, and then she's like, no, please. And then he just puts it on her gooch, and just they just rub one out, you know what I mean? Very odd. I actually don't have any of the scenes where they do it marked, because I have to be honest, I don't mind reading those out, and if there's anything that's weird, I'll read it out, but it was just so mediocre, and so I wonder, the fans of this author, if they think she's, like, exceptionally good at writing those scenes, because I don't think she is. Like, I've read a lot of them for this channel, and this is just, like, really boring. It was really boring sex, even though the most exciting part about it was that it was in front of people. You know what I mean? But other than that, there wasn't anything crazy that they were doing. And I thought they were going to do something crazy, because he has a playroom, and they don't use it. He only uses it to host the orgies. And that's only twice. So, boring. Hermes comes, and Zeus calls, and he's just like, no, I won't give her back, and is already in love after 48 hours. That's where we are right now. Right, okay. She then gets some dresses, because they start trusting each other after having almost intercourse, of course. And she needs something to wear. She gets dresses from somewhere, and we get the line, the dresses are all beautiful, but several sizes too big for me. Pick me. Several sizes. She is tiny. She's tiny. She's so skinny and cute. My reputation, my power, my ability to protect the people in the lower city. They all depend on me being the biggest, baddest motherfucker this side of the river Styx. Sorry you had to hear that, but unironically putting that in your book, I have to keep saying that, like, this is unironically. If this was ironically, I would be like, okay, I get it, but this is for reals. For reals. They have sex in front of people, and then again in private, and she comes like 5 times, but it's not very good. They do a video call where Zeus is like, bring her back. She's like, no, I love it here, and then gives him a BJ. Honestly, I didn't take that many notes, because there's not that much to say about this book. There's nothing going on. Hermes' mimicry is part of how she ended up as Hermes, and it's perfect as always, because she can imitate other people's voices to a T, and that's part of the reason she got this position as Hermes yet again. Like, was there an audition? How did she get this position? Did she have to audition? Who was listening?
And I'm unsure, like, who gives a fuck? If I'm being honest, like, who gives a fuck if the person delivering you a message from someone else sounds like that person delivering, like, who wants you to have the message? I don't give a fuck. I don't understand this line. Why does it matter? If she goes, oh, this person said that, I'm supposed to tell you, she doesn't need to sound like the person. You know what I mean? That's so odd. Also, don't fuck with her, but she does have her own book. Or she's gonna get her own book, maybe. I don't know. He has a lot of scars, of course. We're not in a fantasy, but we do have scars from the fire that killed his parents. And he only fucks in the dark because of that. Because he's like, you're gonna leave me if you see my scars. And she's like, actually, I'm not. And he says, okay, let's leave the light on. All of the lights. And then they're happy ever after. But he does not propose. And she's not pregnant at the end of the book. Boring. I expected that, if I'm being honest. And then, this is my review on Goodreads, because I did come up with one myself while I was away. We know that this place is next to California, but it's coming, it's hailing from Greek mythology. And to honor Greece and the Greek mythology that this is based upon, they do at one point go and eat some gyro. I don't know how you say it in English. Gyros. They go and eat some gyros. And the man has a very Greek name. He does mention that he is from Greece. Our alliance can be tracked back to Greece, he says. And he has the most Greek name you can think of, Damien. Okay. Anyway, weeks pass and nothing happens. Nothing happens in the book, but also they say weeks pass because, I didn't even say, but Hades and Persephone have a plan, or they have a deal where she's going to stay for 3 months, which is the winter, and then in the spring, she's going to leave to Berkeley because she's going to be 25 because she's Persephone in spring and winter and so on, I mean. And so was very German. And so. The only conflict they really have is him saying, oh, I feel like I kind of love her and I don't want her to leave at the end of the winter. I want her to stay, but I don't want to hold her back. So it's just like, because it's dual POV, it's their internal monologue the entire time. And I just don't understand what the fucking issue is, because can't she, like, go study and then just come visit? Like, I don't know why it's hard to leave Olympus, because they make it a point. It's hard to leave. You can't get out. You can't get in. Why? How? Then at the end of the book, actually, because we're already at the end, because again, guys, this is such a waste of time. I told you in the beginning, don't read this book. If you were thinking about reading this, it's genuinely nothing happens in it. It was such a bore. Basically, there's a treaty that Hades does not intervene with the upper city, and the upper city doesn't intervene with Hades. And so nobody is allowed to cross the river. Well, they're allowed to. They can try. Obviously, Persephone did it. But Hades is not allowed to, like, cross it himself. And he's not allowed to... Or is he allowed to cross it himself? I think he's allowed to cross it himself, but he's not allowed to help anyone cross it. Right? So, basically, her sister, Persephone's sister, gets followed after she went to the bar. And then no one's picking up the phone, and she calls Persephone, and she's like, hey, no one's picking up the phone, I don't know what to do, I'm being followed. And she's like, okay, come to the underworld. And she's being followed, she's being assaulted physically by this man, beaten up, and Hades is not supposed to, like, cross the bridge and help her over. She has to do it on her own, otherwise he would be breaking the treaty. But then he breaks it because she can't make it, right? And it goes, just like before, I don't remember making a decision to do this. One blink and I'm shoving him to the ground and hitting me in the face. Fuck, I'm not thinking at all. The only thing that matters is removing the threat. Each punch feeds something dark in me, as if I can hit his asshole hard enough. Oh no, this asshole. I was like, his asshole? What are we doing now? Okay. That is what's happening. He beats him up. Persephone is watching. She goes, Hades, no, this isn't you. No, stop, Hades. And then he stops. And then the sister comes down to the underworld. She's happy. But he did break the treaty. So now Zeus is like, haha, got you. Because he was behind it. He was like, haha, got you, like, we're going to war. And again, I don't understand. Is this like a North Carolina, South Carolina kind of situation? Are they going to, or is it a North Korea, South Korea kind of situation? Like, what is Olympus? What is this? What is it? What is it? Who's going to war? So Hades makes the executive decision to go to Zeus in the morning, and Persephone is already there. I'm really speeding through this because I really want to go to bed, if I'm being honest. Persephone went to Olympus, upper city, and said, I'm going to make a deal with you, and if I make a deal with you, you're not going to go to war. And so she, like, makes a deal with her mom or something. I don't remember what the deal was. I didn't mark it. I didn't care. I didn't even write any of this down. This is from my memory. It's from in here. If Hades makes 6 appearances with me in a year, to show that we are allies, then I will kill Zeus or something. Her mom's like, I will kill Zeus. Apparently this was her plan all along, by the way. She didn't just want to marry off her daughter to someone who kills his wives. She wanted to marry her off so she could kill Zeus, because reasons. I don't know the reason, honestly. I don't think they said it. She makes this deal with her mother, and while she is there, Hades also sneaks up into the upper city and actually kills Zeus by throwing him out a window. Yeah, that actually happens. Then Demeter is like, don't worry, I'll cover everything up. I'll say it was suicide or whatever. I don't know what they said. And everyone's happy then. His son becomes the new Zeus, but everyone's like, oh, he's also bad. I'm sure there's a book about it. But everyone's like, oh, he's just as bad as his dad, so I don't really know. Like, do we have to kill him too? Like, what are we doing? Persephone makes the decision to not go to Berkeley. She is becoming a full-time housewife, and the book ends by, and again, I don't know what they do. Hades at some point is like, I have to do business, and then the next scene is like, I did the business, so I don't know what his job is. Business. The book ends with them having sex in front of people with the lights on them, which is something that Persephone was too scared to do for for another scene. And that's the happy end. I think that's my sign to end this video. Yeah, it is. Again, guys, if you feel like I didn't tell you anything at all, there was nothing to talk about. The one thing that I'm so hung up on with this book is the world building. I genuinely have no explanation for it. It's still confusing to me days later after finishing a book. I'm still thinking about it just because I don't know what's going on with the world. I don't know where I am. There was no plot there. The sex scenes were very, very boring. Too boring to read out. Too boring to make fun of. Very generic. He doesn't do any bondage with her. And they don't do anal or anything. Like, kind of boring, you know? Kind of very vanilla for a book that's supposed to be about Hades. Honestly, that's shameful. Katie. I don't know if the other books are better. I think you can read them interchangeably. Because it's not a set series, it's about different characters. You'll just probably get some minor spoilers about other characters. I'm not sure. I don't care. I'm not gonna read the rest. I just want to go to bed because I got up at 5 this morning and had to work, okay? There's a reason I want to sleep when the sun is out. Otherwise, I don't sleep when the sun is out. Because I don't want you guys to think that I'm a vampire or anything. I hope you still enjoyed this regardless of all of this madness. No, I still hope you enjoyed it. It was a little quick one. A little quick and easy one, which I haven't done in a while. Like, genuinely, this video is going to be under an hour? What? Crazy. Sophie's crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all of my members for voting. If you want to support me, you can consider becoming a member. If you don't want to support me, that's fine. I still love you. I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy, peace and love, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.